Jay Baer, thanks a lot for giving us some time to answer some questions. I'd like to touch upon utility, well, your concept that you work around. You mentioned that utility might sound boring to some people as a tactic, but you made a case that it is not. Could you explain that, please?
Yeah, I mean, in English, when you think about the word utility, it means functional. Right? It means functional or sort of routine. And useful in a way that's not necessarily exciting. But when I think about utility, which I spell with a Y, Y-O-U utility, it's really about marketing that's so useful people would actually pay for it. It's marketing that people actually love. And most marketing, of course, isn't that, right? It isn't marketing that we love. It's just marketing they're like, meh, that we don't really care about that much. And utility is something more than that, something bigger and better.
Okay, great. So as marketers, if we want to go the utility way, how do we go about creating it?
So the best way to start with creating utility, right, creating marketing that people would actually pay for, is to really understand what your customers really need from you. One of the examples I use is that nobody ever needs socks, but everybody needs their feet to be warmer, right? We have to understand the bigger picture sometimes. And in many cases, the best way to understand that is to actually talk to your customers. And today, as online marketers, digital marketers, internet marketers, content marketers, sometimes we don't talk to customers. We just, we're on the computer, right? We're just doing computer things, and we're not having conversations. And that's a lot of times where the really good ideas come from.
You had a very interesting concept, I thought, which was called atomize your utility. Could you elaborate on that?
Well, when we talk about atomizing utility, what we really mean there is take a big idea and turn it into a lot of smaller executions. What I find, especially with newer content marketers, is they say, we need to make content about a park. And so they try to create this huge PDF, and it's 37 pages, and it's everything you'd ever want to know about a park. And it's great, but it's one thing. It's one huge thing. So what you should do is take that thing and then make it 37 individual blog posts and a bunch of different photos and little video clips, right? So take your big idea and make a bunch of smaller ideas out of it, and it gives you a lot more content, a lot more ways to interact with people.
How do social media relate to utility, or how can social media be integrated into a utility marketing plan, let's say?
What I always say about social media is that content is fire and social media is petrol. What you want to do is use social media to make sure that people know about your great content, that they know about your utility. In many cases, social media is still used as a very, very short news release. And companies put something on Twitter, for example, like, our company is fantastic, click here to let us prove it, is basically what they're saying. And nobody wants that. That doesn't work. But if you say, look, we created this really fantastic thing that you're genuinely going to appreciate, click here to see that, like, oh, okay. So use social media to amplify good content. That's the best relationship I can think of.
Great. So your book is also, which is also called Utility as a Forward by Marcus Sheridan. Can you tell a little bit about what he did?
Yeah, my friend Marcus Sheridan wrote the foreword to the book Utility, my book, and he is a content marketer and a speaker and a consultant now as well, but he used to run a swimming pool company that built swimming pools in the United States, and they were having some problems selling pools because it was a bad economy and nobody wants to spend a lot of money for a swimming pool in that circumstances. And so they just created a blog that answered every question that anybody had ever asked them about swimming pools. They wrote 1,000 blog posts, and every one of those was an answer to a question that people had asked them. What does a pool cost, and how long does it last, and what are the repairs we might expect? All of that kind of very specific information, and the company grew and now gets more website traffic than any other swimming pool website in the whole world.
Great. Thanks a lot for an inspiring speech and making some time for us to answer some questions. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. My pleasure. It's great to be here.